Today's gospel is quite long, but I'd like to focus on one specific section of it where Jesus warns us that if our eyes cause us to sin, we should pluck them out. If our hands cause us to sin, we should cut them off. He says it's better to have a body that's all mangled to get into heaven rather than a full body that leads us to sin and to Gehenna. So in today's gospel, which is also mentioned in Mark's gospel, he adds to it, he says, if our feet cause us to sin, cut them off. Well, those have many different commentaries on them in terms of what they mean and what Jesus really meant. But the one that I remember best is a commentary that was given by Bishop Barron. Every morning he would read the gospel of that day. He would reflect on the gospel and then share his reflections through mass email. He enjoyed doing that on a daily basis. He wrote about what Mark said in his gospel, which also referred to the eyes, the hands, and the feet. And how he explains it from his reflection is that when Jesus is talking about the eyes, he means that we have to keep our eyes on God. But so often in our life, our eyes go astray and look at things that don't lead us to God, that rather lead us to sin. We need to keep our eyes on God. As for our hands were meant for holding on to God. But we tend to rather hold on to worldly or material things that don't lead us to God and that lead us to sin. We need to release those and hold on to God. And as far as our feet, what he thinks Jesus is talking about a path, the path that we follow that leads us to God, or the path that we follow that leads us astray, away from God and towards sin. We have to choose the path that leads us to God, and that can be hard sometimes. And that's what I wanted to share with you today. So I know next week is the beginning of Lent. So maybe we want to reflect on how we can keep our eyes on God, how we can let go of those worldly possessions and use our hands to hold on to God, and how we can use our feet to lead us to a path that's more holy rather than one that is not. We have to rearrange our priorities and make God our priority. Thank you, and God bless you.